This is going to be a really quick swivel knife tip for when you're carving out these floral designs to help emphasize the flow of these patterns. And this is going to apply whether you're using a beginner swivel knife or even an upgraded level swivel knife. And it's also going to help set you up for success as you move throughout the tooling process to help create that depth and dimension within the artwork that we're all aiming for. So let's jump right on into it. First and foremost, make it a habit to strop your swivel knife. This is the very first thing I do every single time I pick one of these knives up, and I also do it multiple times throughout a carving session to make sure that I'm keeping this blade smooth and polished and consistently cutting smooth in the leather. What I have here is just some scrap vegetable tan leather I had laying in a bin. As you can tell, it's pretty flanky and janky leather, so I just drew this on here really quick for this video. But what we have here is a simple floral layout, and if we break this down and you look at each of these vines individually, you'll see where they end, and you can see where they flow back to, and they're growing out of each other is what we're trying to portray. So you have your main stem right here flowing into this main flower petal, and then after that, all of these scrolls and these vines are peeling off of each other as if they're growing out of each other. So we want to play into that effect from the get-go when we're drawing our designs out, and then when we start carving our designs out. And just like I said, if we do it correctly, it will help set us up for success when we start tooling this. So everything we have right here is growing out of this little area right here, out this direction. But the way that I like to add some elegance to that movement and growth and to emphasize the flowing motion of that is I like to start my lines down here where the structure ends and flow that back into that area, if that makes sense. So rather than starting my cuts down here in the roots, if you will, and working my way out to the tip of that element, I like to go and start my cuts deep at the tip and work my way back to the roots and taper that line out and flow it off. And I'm going to do that with everything, and that's how we're going to get the ends of all these lines flowing and looking elegant as they make their way back to where that primary location is that they're coming out of. Right here at the tip, I'm going to start my line fairly deep and heavy, and then as I make my way back, I'm going to lighten that pressure off and taper that line out. And I'm going to do that with all of them. And as I taper backwards, like I said, I'm lightening that pressure, and that's when you can start to work your swivel knife and kind of create that flowing, elegant motion of the vine work. There's a lawnmower outside. I apologize for that. Another really simple way to think about it, especially on a pattern like this where there isn't a single location that everything's flowing back to, all of these vines are just kind of free flowing into nothing but still creating something, is you can think of it as the beginning of a line and the end of a line. So if you trace all of these lines back from the start or the tip of these elements where they come together, but then work your way back to the bottom of the line, they are all generally just kind of flowing back into nothing. And that's what I would consider the end of a line. And that's usually what tells me that's where I want my cut to end. So I would go back up to the start of that line, start my cut there, and then flow it back to the bottom of that where that line ends, and then taper that off into nothing. And the same thing would go with all of these other lines, and that's how I would work my way around this vine structure to create everything consistently and play into that flowing motion. You can, and the same practice applies with leaves and flowers and feathers, but on structures like that where the lines usually end in a location that is maybe not as more noticeable, you can get away with not creating your cuts the same on those. So like with a flower petal, you might start here at the end and then work your way around, and you can get away with that. But on these vines where these lines kind of just end into nothing and there's a lot more space around it, that's where you're going to notice your inconsistent cuts, and it's when your flow gets broken up. So that's where you want to try to keep everything consistent and flowing. So if you take a look at this now, you can see that there is an obvious difference on the vines where I started at the tip of the element and flowed my way back into nothing, compared to over here where I started my line out here at the bottom and then worked my way out to the tip. All of these lines are really heavy all the way down here, and it's just a big, thick, bulky line all the way through the end. And it doesn't help create that flowing motion as much as when we carve like this, where we flow back towards the end of that line, letting off on that pressure and then creating that elegance to it. And that's really going to start to show up when you start tooling this out and beveling it. Even if you start to lighten that pressure off down here, that deep cut right here on the end is still going to be really deep and show up a lot more compared to if you were to bevel down a line like that that's tapered off and lighten your pressure with your bevel, and then just let that little swoop be at the end compared to just a really big, thick, heavy ending spot. Hopefully some of that made sense and will benefit you going forward with your carving journey. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more content like this, consider subscribing to the channel. And if you want to see more on swivel knives, check this video out right here. But that's going to be all for now. Until next time, we'll see you.